So would you guys believe me if I said I did not expect the last two videos to do really good? Well, I hope you guys do, because now we are doing another game, Mortal Kombat this time. And I know the video is behind by a lot, but to make up for it, I will give you guys a double upload today. I just have to make sure I upload this video fast enough. It's probably going to take a while to edit this one compared to the second one I'm going to edit today, but it's okay. I'm sorry guys. I'm 4 months behind. This video has been recorded for like a long time. I just haven't did my voiceover part yet, so this is probably going to be coming to you guys pretty much live. Like this is me in the past, like 4 hours in the past as I'm currently doing this. But anyways, you guys have wanted this video for a very long time. So without a doubt, I just gotta say, Mortal Kombat is one of the greatest fighting games of all time. And today I am here to rank the hardest arcade bosses in Mortal Kombat gaming history. Yep, and we're only talking arcade bosses, no story mode bosses. If you guys want to see story mode bosses, feel free to let me know in the comments. I was thinking of tackling some fighting games with story modes, but I didn't really know what you guys really wanted. So I'm gonna stick to arcade bosses for this video. But before we jump into the list, I just gotta add a little bit of rule changes and tweaks here. So obviously, like in the previous videos, I've like split it up bosses, or like I combined the boss into one. For this one, I'm gonna split up like all of the Shao Kahn boss fights, because like he does truly fight different in every Mortal Kombat game that I've played him in, so I feel like he kind of qualifies. And after fighting Shao Kahn for Mortal Kombat Ultimate 3, I definitely want to split him up now, because it's almost like he's a different person. And also we will be including some Injustice boss characters as well too, since they're NetherRealm and Ed Boon's created it. I'm also going to include them in the list. I'm probably going to rank them last though, just so I can keep their Mortal Kombat like aspect going. So yeah. Okay, and we are starting off the tier list right, obviously with one of the most popular villains of all time, and my personal popular villain in the Mortal Kombat series. We have our guy Shang Tsung. And honestly, I can't talk about Shang Tsung properly without mentioning every Mortal Kombat villain in like one sentence. There's fighting game hard, and then there's Ed Boon's fighting game hard. Like the way Ed Boon programs these AI to fight and just do anything is just off the charts difficult. Like I just don't know how he's managing to make the AI like as toxic as they are. But anyways, back to Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung is like, he's like the simplest a boss character could be. Like he's a decent challenge. Like he's very tricky, he's very unfair in his own ways, but you can also beat him. Like you can like learn from what he does, and you can like improvise each time you fight him. Honestly, on the arcade version, you can actually fight him as many times as you want, but I'm playing the remaster collection, like the old remastered games. If you play the console version of these games, actually, like the SNES version or the Sega Genesis version, you actually only get a few attempts. So if you're not using the rewind mechanic, you're trying to beat him in a one and done attempt, you're not gonna have a great time if you lose more than, I believe, like 4 times, because they're gonna reset you all the way back to the start of the game, and they've never done that on the arcade. But I can see why they've never done it on arcade, because you could just put a coin in there. But back to describing Shang Tsung. He's actually very simple. The moves he uses are not super overwhelming. I believe the only move he has in his normal form is just shooting fireballs at you and he can teleport. If you can get past that, then he's pretty much the freest punching bag you could ever have in your entire life. As for when he turns into anybody else, this is the fastest it's ever been in a Mortal Kombat game ever in its life. He can literally shapeshift into anybody basically instantly, and depending on who he turns into will determine how the fight will really go for you. Because he can also shapeshift into Goro, and if you're just like unexpectedly running up to him, like staying super aggressive, he can turn into Goro and uppercut you, and it'll take like 50% of your health away. So His shapeshift is very annoying. Like it's gonna be annoying at some times, but once you get used to it after I believe like 3 to 5 attempts, it should be pretty easy. Like, so I wouldn't really say Shang Tsung is nothing too difficult. But with that being said, I will probably put him at very annoying actually, because I believe I've lost like a lot more than usual, and then on top of that, the console versions of that game like really irritated my soul. So like I would probably put that at very annoying, because he has made me lose a lot of progress in the console version of the game, and I was just like speechless the whole time when I found out. So yeah, that's a good spot for the first boss in Mortal Kombat. Okay, and next we have arguably one of the most iconic final bosses in any Mortal Kombat arcade you can think of. We have Shao Khan from Mortal Kombat 2. Okay, so there are a lot of things to note about Mortal Kombat 2 Shao Khan. The arcade version of him is actually kind of simple, like super simple, but the thing about him is he does so much damage. Like, this man is a brute forcing maniac. He'll hit you with the most ferocious shoulder bashes. He'll punch you all the way to the other side of the screen. And the worst thing of all is he'll let you know that you're not worth anything. He'll taunt you at any moment he can. If you're far away from him, he's gonna taunt you. If you're on the ground, he's gonna taunt you. I believe once he KOs you, his character walks up to you and points at your corpse and says, "Is that your best?" Like, that used to irritate me so badly when I was streaming this game. But here's the bright side. He taunts a lot, so it gives you a lot of opening to just counter him, or like you could duck his punch and uppercut him a few times. But I discovered a different kind of cheese on beating him. I discovered that if I just backwards jump in a corner repeatedly every time he gets up and does a shoulder bash, I can do a jump kick and it'll just take his health down. He does the exact same shoulder bash every single time, so he becomes super easy. But here's the bad part. If you're not playing the arcade port and you're playing like the console port, their sprites, the character sprites are a little bit smaller, so he becomes a whole new threat entirely. Like, this man, I can see why he's iconic, because without that jump corner cheese on the arcade where their sprites are bigger, you're on the console, you're relegated to a normal human. Like, you have no choice but to fight this man like a normal character. And yes, you do need to be lucky and very skillful to even beat him on the console port. But luckily, I completed the arcade port first, and I also got beat up a lot on the ladder tower. So it gave me enough experience to kind of be able to fight back, which only took me 7 minutes to defeat him on the console. So with all of that combined, I would probably say he's very annoying like Shang Tsung, nothing too crazy. Next up, we have our boy Shao Kahn again from one of the worst Mortal Kombats of all time, the original Mortal Kombat 3. I guess I could start by saying Shao Kahn in this game is super aggressive, just like how he was in the last game, but he has newer moves. This guy, not only does he shoulder bash you any chance he gets, he can shoot a projectile from like his head or something like it, and it's bad. And the worst part about this game, compared to like the older game, he's super fast. Bro has his hammer in his game as well, and if you're literally caught lacking at any moment, he pulls it out whack-a-mole style, just stuns you, and you're just there looking stupid for, I guess, like 3 seconds. So yeah, he's actually pretty overwhelming on like the first, I would say, 10 attempts, because that's pretty much how long it'll take for you to beat him on Mortal Kombat 3, the original one. But luckily I found out the strat to beating him too, after about 20 minutes of getting beat on. The key to beating him is to just really rely on stun characters, like we're talking Scorpion. I don't even think Scorpion was in this game. I think Smoke was in the game. You have to rely on Smoke or Sub-Zero. And when you knock him down, he has a habit of trying to mash on wake up. Like, as soon as you see him move after laying down, you have to pretty much shoot a projectile that stuns him instantly, and then that should be your key to winning. But man, he is like super overwhelming if you try to fight him by yourself. Like, it is just not a fun battle at all. He does so much damage, and on top of that, he rarely taunts too. Like, he rarely taunts. He'll taunt like once in a blue moon to let you know that you're still like pathetic. But besides that, like, he is just a straight fighter. Like, there's nothing like You don't see any openings with this man at all. And I almost forgot to say, but you can also bait him out with certain characters too. I believe like I got pretty far with Liu Kang. As long as you like shoot like a lot of projectiles, specifically the low ones, he'll do like an up shoulder bash and land right in front of you. And I could have beaten him a few times, but I'm just bad at the game. And you can actually beat him like in a lot of ways in this game compared to Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which I'm about to get to later. But yeah, just wanted to say that before I forgot. Honestly, that Shao Kahn was a really hard fight, but really I could have beaten him in multiple situations. So with that being said, I would honestly say I had to lock in with Shao Kahn. Like, he's nothing too crazy. But honestly, he might have been one of the weakest Shao Kahns on this list, if not for some in the future, which you're going to hear about later. But yeah, I would say I had to lock in for Shao Kahn. And next up, we have the main reason why I decided to split up all the Shao Kahns in every Mortal Kombat. We have my worst nightmare, Shao Kahn from Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. When I tell you guys that Ed Boon really wanted your guys' money in the arcade, I am not joking. Ed Boon wants every penny, every quarter that you guys have in that purse or that wallet, because I don't know what he was thinking with the AI Shao Kahn from Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, but when I tell you there is literally nothing you can do in this fight, there is nothing you can do in this fight at all. This man is the worst menace of all time. Like, if I ever heard Shao Khan and MK3 Ultimate in the same conversation, I'm shaking and all the PTSD comes back. Because this man, like, he reads everything you do. The most you might be able to get off of him after like 50 attempts is a round, but he'll make sure you stay stuck on that match for the rest of your life. I believe it took me 4 hours to beat him, and that's because I used the rewind mechanic. If I didn't have a rewind, best believe I would have called that match quits. There is nothing you can do against this man at all. I've went through the entire roster of characters, and I've only had a miracle with Smoke, because Smoke for some reason was still good at the games. I'm not talking about Robot Smoke. I think it was Robot Smoke. I'm not sure, but it was just such a terrible experience. I had to really rely on my teleport just so I could get him in the sky, hit him with a claw grab, and beat him up again. I had to rely on that same cycle just to beat him, because the old cheese from Mortal Kombat 3, the original one, did not work. He completely was a different guy entirely. When I tell y'all, it was just bad, bro. It was so bad. Y'all are probably watching the footage right now and just seeing how bad he's doing me. Like, I probably retried like 7 times while I'm talking about it, but it is just a nightmare. And there's a certain thing about him that I didn't mention in the last 2 Mortal Kombat rankings with Shao Kahn in it. But also, when you block his attack, your character staggers like insanely. So the way that works is it kind of puts you in an infinite combo or an infinite pressure situation, because your character cannot react like fast enough. He only reacts fast enough to either take a hit or block again just so he can stagger again. And that alone is like one of the worst mechanics in the game. I hated it so much because I'm just in a corner and he's shoulder bashing, punching, and my character just keeps falling back for like 2 seconds straight. And the chat is over here telling me, they're like, counter bro, escape, escape. And I'm literally trying everything I can. And I'm telling them, I'm like, there is nothing I can do. I am stuck in this corner. So, if you're in the corner, best believe you better put the controller down and let him beat you. Unless he's far away, you better get out of there. But you're forced to fight this man like pretty much in the middle of the map, or at least try to back him in a corner and apply pressure, which is a very bad idea because of how unpredictable he is. There's like 4 ways he can counter you, and he's just super fast. Like, you just can't react. But yes, I had to use the power of the rewind mechanic because I was just tired of taking it. I was just tired of losing around like the 2 hour 30-minute mark. I needed the miracle of rewinding, and he was even defying the gods and defeating me even with the rewind. It was to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna accept this L, pick a different character, hopefully I can rewind and beat him again. And when I finally beat him, I just didn't feel accomplished at all. Like I laid back in my chair and I'm like, what was all of this for in the first place? Like, there's just no reason why I should have fought him for this long. But yes, honestly, you already know where he's going after how I described him. He's going straight to literally impossible because there should be no reason why he put that much pressure on me to begin with. That was literally a waste of time. Alright, that felt good to let out of my system, but now we have Shao Khan from Mortal Kombat Trilogy. All I have to say is, for the experienced Mortal Kombat players who's played Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, and 3 Ultimate, luckily for you, Shao Khan in Mortal Kombat Trilogy is probably one of the easiest Shao Kahns you will ever fight in your entire life. This is such a downgrade in difficulty compared to Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate Shao Khan, to the point where it'll have you think, wow, like, Ed Boon really does have a heart. But this is like a farewell for like their Mortal Kombat like 2D sprite editions of the games. So yeah, it's a pretty simple fight. Honestly, there's nothing really like crazy to note about this Shao Kahn, besides the fact that he has like one new move in this game, and it's just the fact that he can grab you. I don't know if it's command grab or not, but he's doing it like way more than he ever has in any of the older games. And also the way he fights is very similar to Mortal Kombat 3 original Shao Kahn, but luckily the characters you have in this game are like 4 times as cheesy as Shao Kahn could ever be in his life. So he becomes like literally the most easiest fight known to mankind. Like, somebody told me to pick Rain as the first character, and they should have regretted that, because when I picked Rain had this very OP broken move where he could shoot a water ball at you, and the AI, like, no matter who they are or where they are on the game, they just don't block it. They stand still and they just let you shoot them with the move. And you can control where the person goes when you shoot the water bubble like toward them. So all you gotta do really with Rain is just shoot the water ball at him, levitate him right above you, and then just uppercut him instantly. Or you could do a super spin kick, but that one's like the hardest one to do. So yeah, they gave me Rain first, and when I picked him, the game basically became a speed run of how fast I could beat the entire ladder tower of Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I do remember it taking me a few attempts to beat Shao Kahn because I couldn't really get him like narrowed down, but when I realized like, oh, he's just like the Mortal Kombat 3 Shao Kahn, I think I stopped keeping him close to me and I just kept shooting the water ball at him and just leaving him as far away from me as possible, and he wouldn't block it, so it's not like he could fight back. And that's pretty much how I beat him. But yeah, very easy, very simple, cheesable fight. So I would honestly rank Shao Kahn at the bottom tier. I would say he's just a regular fight. Like this, like he probably would have been more dangerous if I was anyone else, but you know, I just happened to pick Rain, and I believe if I pick any other character, I feel like it'll be the same result. So I feel like Shao Kahn is really good at just a regular fight, nothing too crazy. Alright, and we are officially out of the 2D 8-bit era, and we are officially into the 3D Mortal Kombat era. And starting off, we have our boy Shinnok. Shinnok, for me, and probably for a lot of other people, is a major disappointment as a final boss, because in the arcade, he doesn't really have like much to work with as a final boss. He's kind of just like, it's kind of just like, oh, congratulations, you finished the tower against all these normal fighters who can do super attacks and everything. Now for the final boss, you're gonna fight a normal guy who fights exactly the same as everyone else with no super attacks at all, just a little bit more defense. That's kind of what the fight is. And he's just very underwhelming. Like, honestly, like, he might do like a little bit more extra damage than everyone else, but it's not really anything to just be scared of. Like, you kind of just have to really be prepared to just I don't know, be chased down by him if you're like falling down from a combo that he's just done on you. So he's not really anything special. He's really just a normal guy. Like, I wish I had more to talk about with him, but he's really just a normal guy, honestly. So yes, it hurts to disappoint you guys and be disappointed myself, but you already know where Shinnok's going. He's going straight to just a regular guy. Like, I just really have nothing to say about him at all. Alright, and next we have the only game where the sub-boss is harder than the final boss itself. We have the Deadly Alliance, which is just Shang Tsung and Quan Chi. I'm probably gonna do both of the fights for this ranking. I'm gonna just hopefully find like a picture of both of them together, and then I'll just put it in a tier. But yes, we have the Deadly Alliance, which is Quan Chi and Shang Tsung. Honestly, I would probably say the biggest menace between them both is Quan Chi. Shang Tsung's cool, but Quan Chi, just like in the cutscene, is superior. But since you fight Quan Chi first out of the Deadly Alliance, I'm just gonna talk about him anyways. So what makes Quan Chi harder than Shang Tsung is just, I don't know, it's just the fighting styles they gave him, and like the CPU, you know how they read your movements. He has like a lot of quick launcher techniques, and like he can always just time them at the perfect moment. He also has that annoying power-up move, like if he gets you far away, best believe he will do that power-up instantly on sight, and I think it just boosts his damage and his attack speed. It's one of the two. And he also has like a pretty good reversal. I found myself being on a fight with him way longer than Shang Tsung. I believe it took like 5 more tries before I could actually beat him. And and the thing is with Quan Chi, you can honestly beat him with any character in the game. I just had way better luck with Scorpion or Li Mei, preferably Li Mei, because of how like amazing her cheese is on the game. Obviously, I use all the cheesy characters because I'm a casual at Mortal Kombat. Don't judge me. But yeah, honestly, that's pretty much all Quan Chi can do. And Shang Tsung, honestly, he doesn't do anything either. I'm gonna be surprised if I can even find footage of myself fighting him for like longer than 2 minutes. But yeah, the key to beating like both of those characters and pretty much any character in the game, including the sub boss, is to just do Li Mei's like somersault kick, where she like dashes forward in a somersaulting angle, and then you just spam light kick, light kick, light kick, and then you just do the same thing on repeat. And the AI just never blocks it for some reason. Like the pressure is just too intimidating for them. So yeah, honestly, I would probably just rank them at just a regular fight. Like, it's nothing too crazy. Okay, and after 3 super easy fights in a row, Ed Boon finally realized who he was. He said, you know what? I'm gonna give these players a hard time again. And next up, we have Onaga from Mortal Kombat Deception. Onaga's one of those characters who really helps you learn, like, really quickly. Because once you, like, fight him and you're, like, unaware of what his weaknesses are, you'll just go in and just start, like, running and attacking him and realizing you're doing no damage, and he's just out here doing massive amounts of damage. You're getting beat up, you lose, like, 1 or 2 times, and then you realize that if you touch an orb, he kneels down and you can just do more damage to him. Then, like, after that, the game just kind of becomes a cat and mouse type of game where he's trying to stop you from grabbing the orbs, and you're just grabbing all the orbs you can and weakening him and eventually attacking him too while he's weak. That's pretty much the fight in a nutshell. But we're not going to just cover that part of the fight because that's pretty much a quick ranking. We got to go over some of his moves. This man has an unblockable fire blast attack where if he hits you, obviously you're on fire. And you can't even block it. It's very long range as well. You could probably sidestep it. That's like the most you can do. Not really a lot of characters can really hang with him, like cheese-wise. You kind of have to really be like well knowing of what your character can do to even be able to compete with Onaga. But yeah, he's pretty intimidating. If you think getting those orbs are easy, he'll definitely make sure that's not going to be possible. He'll really fight to make sure you don't get them orbs, but yeah, pretty much once you get him, like, it's pretty much a free match. Also, he can't fall on the floor either, so you kind of have to just really time your attacks wisely and make sure you're not doing anything super slow. But yeah, Onaga's actually a pretty difficult boss. I wish there was more to talk about with him as well, but like, he's not really super crazy. With that being said, Onaga's actually a really good boss. But I wouldn't really rank him like super hard or anything like that. He's not even like very annoying. It's more of a game of like skill, luck, the right decisions, you know, just the simple things. So I would probably rank Onaga at had to lock in, you know, right next to Shao Khan from whatever game that is. I don't even remember which picture from what game that was. But I'm gonna rank him right there. I feel like that's a pretty good ranking. Now we are currently at the end of the PS2 slash Wii slash GameCube slash Xbox original era, and we are officially on Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and we are talking about none other than Blaze. Well, I'm gonna just be honest from the start, I do not remember any of his super attacks, to be honest. I just kind of remember Blaze being like the boss character that can kind of just fall on the floor. Well, Onaga can fall on the floor too, but like he like falls on some moves and he also doesn't fall on some moves too. So I wouldn't really say Blaze is like super intimidating for me, but I'm like the wrong person to ask for that because I'm not gonna lie, the only footage I have is from me using Onaga to beat Blaze because somebody told me in the chat to use Onaga. So I would kind of say Blaze is just like really intense. Like I know they have a new parry mechanic on there too. Like Blaze is really good at timing his parries and like really messing my character up. I believe he's beaten me like a few times while I was Onaga, and he's still like proved to be like quite the fighter against a giant guy. So I don't even want to know how he would do somebody smaller than him. But yeah, I would probably say Blaze is not really that bad. I never really heard anybody complain about him. Before I even like wanted to record this voiceover, I wanted to make sure I looked at like everybody's tier list and everything and like see their top 10 rankings. I've never really seen Blaze on there, so I wouldn't really say Blaze is super like crazy. Yeah, but just because my experience was really good, I wouldn't really say Blaze was just a regular fight. I mean, he probably is for a lot of you guys, and I might not know ball, but I'm just kind of hanging on to the fact that like if I use a smaller character, he probably would give me the works. So I guess I would put Blaze at had to lock in. I feel like it's only fair since I only fought him like one time with Onaga. My game kept crashing, by the way, which is why I didn't really get to keep fighting him again. I believe it took me 6 attempts to like finally make it to Blaze and beat him without the game like crashing on me. So yeah, that would probably be my final rating for him. Just had to lock in, that's all. Now we can officially say goodbye to the 3D Mortal Kombat gameplay era with one of the most controversial Mortal Kombat games. We are talking Mortal Kombat vs. DC, and the final boss that we are talking about today is Dark Khan. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stand by this. Dark Khan is actually a challenge. And the only reason he's super challenging is because of that defense. This man is such a sponge, bro. He just does not die. Like, I will hit this man with the most ferocious, dangerous combo I know, and all that will do is really take almost 25% of his health away. Like, he's like insanely like, he's like an insane like sponge, bro. Like, he just does not feel any pain. The only way to like really feel like you're doing something is like to uppercut him like a few times with rage, or do your best combo with rage on. But as for Dark Khan, besides his beefy defense, he's actually not really bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the fight feels very normal because of how they made Darkseid and Shao Kahn in the game. Like, they're very normal characters. So he kind of has like a good arsenal of moves. Like, they're just combined. Like, he can do Shao Kahn's shoulder tackle, which really catches me off guard like a lot. Like his up shoulder tackle, his forward shoulder tackle. Like, he'll shoulder tackle you one time, you think you got the distance, full screen shoulder tackle again, and then I'm into a stage transition. Like, it just really catches you off guard. And he has a move where he can also stump on the ground, and it's an unblockable attack. It's very slow, so once you get hit by like a few times and you realize how slow it is, you can eventually predict it. It's pretty simple. He also has another move where it's like a jumping like ground pound or whatever. Like, I'm not really fully sure what he does to you, but it's like, it'll catch you by surprise like one time probably, but it's really easy to dodge. Like, I've dodged it even unintentionally, so it's nothing really crazy. He has like another like slashing move too, which is like a juggling move. I don't know if that's a super move or not from him, but you know, it's something pretty light, nothing crazy. And even with all those like moves combined, like, he still doesn't really feel super like intimidating to me. Like, he's really just a normal fight in my opinion. Like, even my first time fighting him, I'm like, wow, like, I'm actually getting some offense in. Like, even though I'm losing, I'm getting a decent amount of offense in with Scorpion. Or like whoever I was using first. It was like Scorpion or Joker. And like, I ended up beating him pretty simply, like pretty quickly. But yeah, like he's not really super crazy. The game is very controversial, so I know a lot of people don't want me to talk about him any longer. So we'll just get to the ranking and just rank him. Probably also at had to lock in as well. Like honestly, like I don't know. It's like he's not really too bad. He's not super like intimidating. I don't even think I've taken longer than 20 minutes to defeat him on the first try. So yeah, I would just put him at had to lock in. He's like really nothing special at all, honestly. Alright, and that is the end of the 3D Mortal Kombat era. We are finally to the Netherrealm Mortal Kombat era. And we're going to start with none other than Mortal Kombat 9. My personal favorite Mortal Kombat. I love this game so much, so I'm going to try my hardest not to be biased. But we are also talking about the guy, Shao Khan. So our GOAT Shao Khan from Mortal Kombat 9, he's actually a boss you really need to be careful for because he is a walking tank. This man hasn't been seen as a final boss in a Mortal Kombat game in so long, and when Ed Boon brought him back as a final boss in this game, Shao Khan came back and he said, "You better be ready." So this guy, he has so many dangerous like moves that like it'll be super intimidating at first, but like when you really realize like that you can actually cheese him out and like beat him, like he's actually pretty simple. But the moves that you should really be on the lookout for is when he throws his hammer. His hammer throw is unblockable and it stuns you. And he also has a lot of super armors on his moves, so you gotta watch out for a shield bash. You might try to hit him on wake up and he might super armor and shield bash you dead in the face. Doing a lot of jump ins are pretty bad too, because he also does his anti-air shield bash too, which is pretty intimidating. His arrow throw, where he throws the spear, it's not too bad, but it is really fast and like overwhelming. But besides all of that, you can kind of just cheese him out by zoning. Or if you know that you can block a lot of his up close moves, then you might actually have a chance of beating him. You just gotta kind of make sure he doesn't back you in the corner and like, you know, spam shield bash or something like that. His X-ray can also come out of nowhere, but if you're lucky, you can really dodge it. And he's not really too bad though. Like there was times where he's given me like a lot of problems, but that was when I was usually a character that I never knew how to use, or when I was doing Challenge Tower 300 that you guys have saw and liked a lot. Thank you for your support. But yeah, like he's nothing really too crazy. He's definitely tanky. He can eat a lot of hits, like it's nothing too. But oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. His taunt system is actually not like, it's actually pretty cool. Like he has 2 taunts, so he gives you a lot of opening time to attack him. But the harder the difficulty, the less he taunts. So you need to like really be on the lookout for when he taunts, because that'll be the opening that you've always wanted. And with my super unbiased ranking, I'm trying my hardest to be neutral. All of that combined for Shao Khan, I would say he's very annoying, but I've never really had a issue where I was pissed off with Shao Khan. Like I was usually having fun. Even on my first time fighting him, I was usually having fun. He's not too bad. And plus there's like multiple ways you can beat him in the game. So I would just put Shao Khan at had to lock in. So we had 4 had to lock ins in a row. So surely it's gonna change eventually, right? And so it did. It did really change eventually. We have a dangerous man right here. We are talking about Shinnok from Mortal Kombat X. I wish I still had my original footage from my first time fighting Shinnok, because when I tell you this man kept me on the game for 2 hours straight, he actually kept me on the game. Because I never really like played Mortal Kombat X. That was one of those games I skipped when I was a kid. Like I skipped that game and I think I was just sticking strictly to Injustice. And Shinnok, this man has kept me on the game for so long. When I streamed it the first time, I believe I was using Jason, the slasher variant, and he was just giving me the works, the most ferocious works of all time. And I'm not even talking about his corrupted version. Like normal Shinnok is actually pretty dangerous if you don't know what he can do. And I don't know what anybody in that game can do. I believe it was Shinnok and Reptile. That was like my biggest menaces since I'm a casual. And like, man, like the chat was just so angry at me because I was just literally like not using Jason right, and at the same time Shinnok is just like bullying me, so it's hard to like concentrate properly. Like every time I lose, I would just lean back in my seat and just scratch my head. I'm sweaty, like I don't know what I can do to beat him. But yeah, I have footage from the second time I streamed it, which was last week, I believe. And like in this footage, I'm doing way better. Like I'm doing the same combo, but I'm actually like hanging with Shinnok. Like that's pretty much this whole fight in a nutshell. It's just me spamming that combo with Jason. And like yeah, he actually just became super easy. Like the more I got used to him. And little did I know I should have used Jason with the hands instead of Slasher Jason, because I can use that one way better. But we're not here to talk about normal Shinnok. We're here to talk about the real menace. We're here to talk about corrupted Shinnok. When I tell you corrupted Shinnok was the bane of my existence, I wholeheartedly mean that, bro. Like, that beam blast that he does, I thought it was unblockable for so long, and I believe it is unblockable if you amplify it. But that move is so fast and so spammable. Like, I just don't get time to like even think straight, because I'm getting hit by like multiple beams. He has that long like lunging overhead attack that he does a lot, and he's just like, well, obviously he's a tank, but not like super like tanky. Like I can actually hit him and feel like I'm making progress. But Shinnok has super armor as well, which makes him a menace. He's actually not too bad though when you get used to him. I don't know why I was struggling so hard. I probably should have trained before I fought him. But yes, I'm going straight off of the first time I fought him. Shinnok was a menace, bro. He was a menace. And I hope a lot of like casual players relate when I say this. Like Shinnok to the casual player community, if you're playing on the hardest difficulty, is definitely unfair but winnable because of the fast-paced mechanics on Mortal Kombat X. The game is so fast-paced, it becomes a lot to keep up with, considering a lot of Mortal Kombat games are super slow in gameplay. But yes, Shinnok is definitely unfair but winnable. And we're almost at the end of the video. If you made it this far, I would really appreciate if you like the video, comment, subscribe too, because this is taking a lot of work, man. I've been sitting in this chair doing voiceovers for like hours now. But the next character we have is Kronika from Mortal Kombat 11. Arguably one of the most controversial characters of all time in the Mortal Kombat franchise. I know I say this a lot, but this is one of the fights that I wish I had footage for, because Kronika, bro, well, she's honestly the hardest boss I've ever faced in Mortal Kombat history. Like I know I said Shao Kahn from Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 was my hardest boss, but I would say he's like the hardest Shao Kahn. Kronika has single-handedly kept me on this fight for 6 hours straight. 6 hours is long, by the way, in case you guys don't know. That's an entire work shift. I was stuck on this fight for so long. I was brain dead like around the 2-hour mark, like in all fights. And on the story mode, I'm not gonna lie, when I fought her on the campaign, I had to lower the difficulty because I said this is not worth another headache. I am not gonna deal with this, especially when I'm using Liu Kang or Shang Tsung. Even though I used Liu Kang to beat her the first time on the 6-hour mark, she genuinely took everything out of me. Like, I was so drained. And it's just because of how she fights. She doesn't, for starters, she falls on the ground, but she's super invincible when she touches the ground. Like, she teleports to wake up, and she's back into, like, neutral stance. Like, she's fine. She barely flinches, for real. You hit her with, like, your strongest attack, and all she does is lean backwards. So you're basically still negative, even if you feel like you're not. And her combos are insanely long. She hits you with all these teleport freaking combos where she can rewind you and throw you up in the sky and throw all these freaking mines and bombs and everything at you. And that's only on her first phase. I've been stuck on her first phase for like basically forever. Like, it's been so difficult to actually be able to like make progress against her. And what makes it worse is when you actually do manage to defeat her on her first phase, which took me about an hour probably, she's gonna she's gonna back out of the screen and summon like a random like character. It could be Scarlet, it could be Scorpion, it could be anybody. And depending on how that AI fights, that AI will really cheese the life out of you and hit you with some dangerous combo stuff. And they do normal damage. You do like double the damage to them, but it's the fact that she's gonna back out and you have to knock out somebody from the first phase just to be able to fight her again. And then what makes it worse is when she comes back, you're in the freaking Jurassic Park area or whatever was going on over there with that area. And she gets the ability to call dinosaurs and everything. I believe the dinosaurs are blockable, but I'm not gonna lie, as slow as it is, that move is actually pretty fast too. So you definitely got to be on the lookout for something like that. But I mean, besides that, the main problem is still just the fact that she fights super aggressive and she can teleport you wherever she wants and teleport wherever she wants. So you kind of just really got to be careful with that specific fighting style. So say you manage to actually get past that. You got to fight whatever random character shows up again and hope that they don't pull any crazy like attacks or nonsense against you. And then once you get past them, you have arguably the hardest phase. I don't care what nobody says. This is the hardest phase of her in that I've ever dealt with in my life. When I made it over here around the 3-hour mark, I'm like, okay, we're making progress. I'll stick to the same strategy and I can beat her. Tell me why this woman gains the ability to do a super fast, by the way, uninterruptible attack where she throws a meteor down from the heavens on you at your face basically, and it's unblockable. It's fast and unblockable. You can't even dodge it either. Like, I believe if you teleport, it'll still like do a 360 rotate and still hit you dead in your face. And I'm like, are you serious right now? In the chat is telling me, they're like, bro, just block, bro, lock in, beat her. Bro, there's nothing you can do. You can no longer play defensively on her last phase. On her very last phase, you have to fight with all of your might, because if you don't, you are going to have to start back over and deal with the exact same nonsense that you dealt with hours ago, pretty much. So yes, not only can she combo you like a maniac, you have to look out for unblockables, which makes you have to get aggressive. Because if you keep blocking and she keeps saying that you keep blocking, she will definitely keep throwing rocks at your face, which are unblockable. So, pretty much that leaves you with no choice. It's kind of a now or never situation. You have to just run up and kind of just fight her and hope that she doesn't pull anything like super crazy. Like, the worst she could do is wake up and do an unblockable. That's like the worst she can do. But if she decides to start like setting mines or like attacking you, that's your opening. That's when you strike. That's when you gotta like capitalize on what you're gonna do. And yes, that fight alone was a nightmare. I don't care what no one says, bro. And even though I managed to beat her after 6 hours of suffering, I don't care, okay? I didn't need a rewind mechanic to beat her or anything, but the fact that it took that long and I was basically brain dead around like the 2-hour mark, she's still going straight and literally impossible. Because what in the... Why did they even make a character like that difficult? Like, she should not have been that hard. But at the same time, I guess it makes sense because she's like the maker of time and everything. She can really decide your fate. So yes, I'm going to put Kronika in literally impossible. But before we get to the most disappointing bosses in Mortal Kombat 1, we have a few honorable mentions, okay? We gotta get the Injustice games over with, since you're probably never ever gonna see me rank these games like ever in the future. So we're gonna, and plus it's Netherrealm, so we might as well. First up, we have Injustice Gods Among Us, and we are talking about my worst nightmare, Superman. And I also need to vent a little bit, because the reason Superman is my worst nightmare is just simply because of how dangerous this guy is. When he attacks you, he does not stop, bro. Like, I am genuinely always having the worst time against Superman, and this one has taken way longer than any other Netherrealm character that I've ever fought in my life. This has taken longer than Kronika at approximately 7 hours straight. I was feeling the wrath of Superman for that long, and it was just the worst experience of all time. Like, Kronika, the reason I never went through the whole roster with Kronika, but Superman had me experimenting, bro. There was just genuinely nothing I could do. Because there was times where bro was single-handedly flawless victory 2-stocking me, and I'm just over here like, how am I supposed to even attack this guy? He reads everything I do, and he has all his simple moves. He has no boss battle moves or anything, no super armor, but it's that freaking Kryptonian spirit when he like charges up and turns red like he has Kaioken and does so much damage, plus the extra damage that he does because he's a boss battle character. He's like the worst like of all time. Like, it's just the worst combination of like feats. And I'm like, okay, surely Batman is my best character. He'll get me out of here. Batman did not stand a chance. All I did was manage to take like 1 round off of him. I tried cheesing him out with Doomsday and doing the freaking super jump ground pound shoulder tackle or whatever you call it. That didn't work. And when I went through all the characters on the roster, my very last character that I chose, Green Arrow, for some reason his cheese is like, it just stopped Superman in his tracks. Even though Superman's canonically killed this guy in the story, Green Arrow spirit still lives on, bro. He will cheese Superman till the very end. It took me a minute because the cheese low-key was just straight RNG for me because Superman was like super like dangerous up close. So I really had to like be patient but also like super fast at the same time with my reflexes. And that's the only reason I was able to beat Superman with Green Arrow. But yes, there is no way I'm going to be able to take back all 7 hours of my life with this fight. So it's safe to say, without a doubt, Superman is going in the literally impossible tier, and you cannot even box me on that. If y'all got a problem with where I put Superman, I dare y'all to go fight him on the hardest difficulty yourselves, bro. Y'all are going to have the worst time of your lives, and you deserve what's coming to you. Alright, and last in the Injustice 2 series, we have another menace, which happens to be Braniac from Injustice 2. Now, just like pretty much any boss in Mortal Kombat at this point, Braniac is by far a super dangerous person to fight. And he doesn't really have like high defense or anything, but the real difficulty is actually being able to fight this man. Like, you can't even throw a punch without him freaking throwing unblockable gigantic tentacles towards you, pause, and just destroying you. He can literally do a whole combo just by spamming up tentacle repeatedly if he wanted to. And he's like super input ready. Like, he reads everything you do. I know I haven't used that term enough for like any other Mortal Kombat character, but it's really like obvious with Braniac. Like, the second you even attempt to make a move, bro is there every single time. You want to throw a punch, gigantic tentacle from the freaking ground or from the side, and it is just the worst experience I've ever had in my life. I believe it's taken me like almost 3 hours to defeat him. Probably did take me 3 hours to defeat him, and I'm not gonna lie, I had to jump through a few characters on the roster, but my main guy was Atrocitus. Like, I lost a few times with Atrocitus, and then I switched off to some characters. Then I went back to Atrocitus, and little did I know, the way to beat him was to just spam at the exact right moment. So, it's only with Atrocitus, by the way, when I say this, but the way I beat him was he had to be like 2 steps away from me, because that's when he decides to shoot that projectile, that little blue fish looking thing. And that's when I start to do my super attack, which is his Fury, like his like punch Fury combo thing. And that's pretty much how I was winning, because when I knock him away with the punch Fury thing, he's already in mid range, so he's gonna try to do it again. And if I have him in a corner, I backstep, and then when he tries to do it again, I do the punch Fury technique again, because when you attack him while he's shooting projectile, it interrupts it and a projectile like disappears entirely. So that was kind of my like ultimate go-to just to beat Braniac. And yeah, it got me far. Like, it took a good minute to master it, but I'm happy I did, and I'm happy that fight was over. So without a doubt, Braniac is definitely going in unfair but winnable. And now here we are in the current day. We are talking about the most disappointing final boss again, the Deadly Alliance from Mortal Kombat 1. I don't know how, but the Deadly Alliance managing to be 0 for 2 again is kind of crazy. But yep, this is pretty much just a normal fight, honestly. Like there's nothing unique about the fight at all, besides the fact that you're fighting Shang Tsung and a Quan Chi assist character. Like, Quan Chi's not an assist character in the game, so I guess that makes it pretty unique. But there's really like nothing crazy to talk about with these characters at all. Like, they don't even have extra defense. They don't do extra damage. It's just a very normal, regular fight. And I played it on the hardest difficulty. I was using my main character at the time, General Shao. Before he got nerfed. Rest in peace to General Shao. And yeah, like he just honestly, they just honestly weren't really worth like talking about at all. Like, they're not even worth mentioning anymore. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, the only good part about this fight is the ending cutscene where you're just ferociously beating them up to death. But I mean, yeah, there's really nothing to talk about at all. Like, nothing memorable at all. And I guess it's safe to say you know exactly where they're going. They are going in the just the regular fight category. There's honestly nothing unique about them at all, and it's pretty much a sad ending to this video and honestly the current state of Mortal Kombat bosses as of right now. So yeah, it's nothing too crazy. And okay, that is the tier list. This video has taken forever for me to edit and voiceover and everything like that. This is the very final voice line of what I'm currently editing. There's been a reason why I have been avoiding this video, guys. I knew it was gonna take this long, so I understand if it gets no views because you guys are probably waiting forever. But yes, it's finally over. If you guys want to see more final boss rankings in like fighting games, be sure to let me know. I don't really know if there's any more like super popular fighting game like categories like that to address. So I do appreciate that. You guys gave me a lot of support on the previous 2 videos, and I hope for a lot of support on this video too. Hope you like what you see. You know, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I really did put a lot of work into this. Editing is not my strong suit at all. So yeah.